What is going on? Boys for Life podcast. We are back with another episode.
We're back.
Back in the library at the Arden, feeling good.
Yes.
Man, life is good, bro. I'm
Life
super
is good,
excited about
man.
this podcast.
Wow. Dude, how are you, bro? How are you doing, bro? Everything good?
I'm doing really good. I have a really funny story for today. I don't know if do you want to just jump right into it?
Let's just jump in, bro. We always do. Let's just get into it.
Let's
You
just
already
jump
know.
right into it with no context, right? So I'm going to keep it a stack with you and all the listeners, right? I haven't been to the dentist in like 15 years, which is crazy, right?
Yeah.
And so I don't know why yesterday I woke up and I just had a gut feeling. I was like, I need to go to the dentist. You know what I mean? And so I went into the dentist yesterday and rewind a little bit. So I've only been to one dentist in my entire life. It's Winfield Family Dentistry in like downtown Winfield. And I called them. They didn't have any, available appointments until like mid-February. And I was like, that doesn't work for me. Like whenever I get something in my head, I need to get it done now.
Yeah.
So started doing some research, found a great dentist spot in Naperville. Smile Obsession. I was trying to remember the name.
Ooh, okay.
Smile Obsession is what it's called. Scheduled up a consultation, went in there, got a cleaning. Everything's all good, right? She was like, wow, I told her it's been over a decade since I've been in. She's like, it honestly looks like you came in like 4 or 5 months ago for a cleaning. And so the dentist came in, long story short, he saw a little something he wanted to take care of. So I had to go back in today, right? And I have an extreme fear of needles. And I had to get a shot.
Irony.
I had to get a shot in my mouth, and long story short, I fainted in the dentist's office, bro. I swear to God, I fainted. And shout out to Dr. Amash Shah. He was incredible about it, but he was doing the shot, and I started feeling really lightheaded because it's something with needles. Every time that I've gotten my blood drawn or gotten a shot at the doctor, I always faint. Literally 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. I always faint. But today, I wasn't feeling scared. Like I was joking around with my dad about it. I was like, I have to get the shot, whatever, going to get over my fear today. All good, right? Joking around with the dentist. Everything's all good. And then right as soon as he started doing it, I just started feeling weird. And then I was like, please, like don't faint. Let him finish. Right when he finished, I said, hey, can I get some water? I slowly sat up. Usually what like my trick is I put like some cold water on my forehead or my neck to kind of cool my body off. Next thing you know, I wake up face planted on the ground in a puddle of water. I got a scratch on my cheek. You can see. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, dude, I just met this dentist yesterday. This dude's probably like, what the heck is going on with this guy?
What?
Right?
Today.
Literally happened today earlier. And we were joking. I was like, I got a podcast later, which is what I kind of wanted to talk to you about. I was kind of saving the excitement. So long story short, we made a laugh about it.
Good.
Because of course I can laugh about it and have fun. Like it's funny, right? I got all these tattoos and they were all laughing. I got all these tattoos. But as soon as I'm getting a shot, my blood drawn or anything, I faint. Long story short though, he wants to come on the pod. And then I was telling all the receptionists and all like the dental assistants and all that stuff about the podcast. They were all pulling it up. They're going to listen. So, I took a little nap in the dentist's office. And then we came out with, 4 or 5 more listeners, hopefully.
Wow. You know what? And let's go. I'm cracking up over here because, dude, I mean, you have, I don't know how many tattoos.
I have a lot of tattoos. I've lost count.
It's too many. Your whole sleeve, you get your, it's
my
it's
leg
a lot.
and everything. But as soon as they try to inject or draw something out of me, I faint.
Dude, there's a lot
I don't know what it is, bro.
I have a couple other buddies that are like that have a lot of tattoos. Dude, you have a tattoo. What are you talking about? You can sit there for hours and the needle
I could literally
going in
sit
on
here
your
for
skin.
12 hours while they tattoo me and I'm all good. It's
crazy,
As
bro.
soon as the doctor tries to do something to me, I faint. It's so weird. I don't know. And I thought I went into it with a great headspace and everything.
Wow.
But I just thought that'd be like a funny, kind of like embarrassing, light story to share with the listeners. Like, hey, man, we're all human.
God,
we all
dude.
got things.
Yes.
Needles and snakes are my 2 things.
Snakes.
Snakes
Wow.
are huge, bro. If a snake came in here, I promise I'm jumping out the window. I'm breaking that glass and I'm jumping out of here. Even if it's like a small garter snake.
You're out. He's out. Peace and
I am
gone.
out. But listen, I have been so excited to get on here and do episode 12 because I feel like everything is formulating just the way that it's meant to be. We've officially booked our first 2 guests. So today is Wednesday. We got our first guest coming Friday. I won't say any names. We got our first guest Friday, our second guest Sunday. So that's going to be what? Episodes 13 and 14 are going to be guests confirmed. Yes. Super exciting. They're going to be 2 completely different conversations, and I'm so excited. I feel like bringing guests onto the show, like we talked about before, getting different, views on things, different opinions, different conversations, people from different backgrounds doing different things in their life.
Yes. Yeah.
It's just going to add so much diversity to the show. And I'm just really excited I think that it's really going to take our show to the next level.
Dude, I agree. And I want to give a couple shout outs here. So first of all, Sarah Differding, what person I work with, yelled at me. I wouldn't say yell, but she called me out for not shouting out Tina. So we got to give Tina a quick shout out.
Tina. It's got to be every episode.
I don't know what I was doing. I forgot. So shout out Tina. She's here with us in the library today. Big shout out. She's our number one fan. She's always here supporting.
I feel like she has been with us at every episode except the other one episode that we did in this room.
There was two. There was one at your place too.
Oh, that's right. That's right. We did the upstairs pod in my place too.
But she's there. Too. Shout out to
she's been at 10 out of 12.
I swear to God,
and she's going to be at 198 out of 200.
She will be.
Once we get to that point, that's amazing.
Yes. But in all seriousness, though, I do want to give a quick shout out to Daniela at the Basement Gym for giving us some equipment, man. I mean, she's a trooper. I really appreciate her willingness. This wouldn't be possible for this weekend if it wasn't for her.
Yeah, if it wasn't. Yeah.
I mean,
because we were kind of scrambling, trying to figure things out because I don't know if the listeners know, but a lot of this equipment's fucking expensive.
Boys are balling on a budget too.
Boys are balling on a budget as we're trying to grow this, right?
Yes.
Like obviously, we have faith and a lot of things like that. But we made the initial investment in getting the microphones off that big light. I mean, just that light alone that's blasting down on us was $300. These mics are $180 a piece.
Yeah.
Stands were another $100 a pop. It starts adding up, and then it's like getting another interface. The one that she's letting us borrow, that's another $500-600. Each
Seriously.
of those mics are, $150 a pop. So thank you so much. What was her name? Daniela? Daniela, thank you so much, honestly.
Thank you.
And it's kind of what I was saying at the beginning of the episode. It's like everything is coming together. I was telling you as we were walking into the building, like it truly feels like God's plan. And like I have goosebumps right now thinking about it, but everything's happening like we always talk about when it's meant to.
We're in the right time zone right now. Everything's time zone.
Everything's
I firmly
flowing.
believe on that.
It's going well. And, we had talked about wanting to do guests, and all of a sudden you're like, wait, I think the gym has some equipment that we might be able to use. And, of course, it's the same brand, the same model that we wanted. It looks brand new. Yeah. Like, you couldn't have honestly drawn it up any better.
You couldn't have, man. And that's, I think, just our message is you want to connect with good people because if I was an asshole to Daniela, she wouldn't have given it to me.
She wouldn't have let you.
And that just speaks, I think, volumes to always be kind, right? We really preach that and just connect with people, right? Like we met Amir. Amir's a great guy.
Yeah.
So another quick story. So we were setting up for the podcast. And just like Jeffrey said, we're at the library at his place, the Arden. Great spot, by the way. And
it's a hidden gem room.
It really is a hidden gem room. This place is gorgeous. I can't wait for you guys to see the video on this one, man.
Yeah.
But Amir popped in. He's like, oh, what's going on in here? And Jeffrey popped up real quick. He's like, hey, man, you come on in. Just come and take a listen. And he was going to get some food. But he's like, hey, what's the podcast name? And just shared what it is. Looking up at the Boyz for Life podcast. Hopefully we'll get another follower too. We got people at the dentist, people at the Arden.
Yeah.
I mean, this is great, man.
I know.
This is fun.
I feel like that's the way to do it is naturally. I've been telling people at the gym. I've been telling random people that I meet. Obviously, it's like I don't just go up to a stranger like, hey, you listen to podcasts? But it's like if it kind of flows naturally and it happens, I feel like why not? Because I truly stand behind the things that we talk about and the things that we say. And I don't want to get into too much of detail, but I had, something hit pretty home. Something hit pretty hard. I'm sorry, I can't speak.
Home. Yeah.
It hit hard over the weekend. Somebody very close to me ended up in the hospital going through some things, mental health related. And I had a very long conversation with them, and they really opened up on how motivating and how much they've been able to lean on this podcast.
Wow.
That really hit home for me, dude. Like it almost honestly brought me to tears. It is really deep. And it just motivates me even more to keep doing this. Just even knowing if it's just that one person, we're making a difference.
A person that's in need, too.
A person that's in need.
Right? Wow. Dude, and that's I think what we talked about from day one. Like we wanted to just give some little nuggets. And if you don't mind sharing, what's the person's name? Or
I don't want to say.
Fair. That's
fair.
I don't want to say it. Whoever you are, you know who you are. Yeah. I greatly appreciate you.
I promise you, they're going to be listening and they're going to know who they are. I don't want to get, like I said, I want to give too much information. But that hit home.
Yeah, dude.
They told me, they were like, you have no idea how much like your podcast motivates me. Wow. and makes me feel like I'm not alone and I can get through this and things are going to get better. And just like we talked about literally on like episode 1, that's all we want to do with this podcast. Even if it's just that person, it's 2 others, 3, 4, 5. If we can really make that true difference, then our mission is complete.
It is. It doesn't matter how big or how small we make it. Like we already made it just helping that one individual out.
100%.
And what we'll continue to do to help her out in her journey, them out on their journey, and what they're trying to accomplish.
Yeah.
Right. From mental health standpoint. So
that's one thing I love about this show is we can laugh about fainting at the dentist. We can get deep. I'm serious.
No, I know.
We could talk about, motivation and the hardships and the things that we're going through. Like we can do so much. We could talk about sports. And also too, just to kind of pivot.
Yeah.
My dad texted me because obviously we had dropped the sports talk episode. And I think almost all of our predictions on the NFL season were completely way off. We don't have to talk about this in depth, but I just thought that was funny. Almost everything we said, Bears are hopeful. They look like dog shit.
Dog shit.
Jets are making a run. Aaron Rodgers survives 4 snaps. It's we were almost completely wide off of our predictions.
Should we stop talking about sports on here?
We might have to. We might
honestly
have to. We're not sports analysts, right?
We're not. Let's preface that. And sorry for anyone's fantasy team that we've damaged because I damaged my own team with Justin Fields and DJ Moore.
So many running backs are out.
Bad. Yeah,
so many are out. Saquon Barkley is out for like 3 or 4 weeks.
Is he really?
Yeah, he's out with the ankle sprain. Did you see the Nick Chubb injury?
Dude, that's brutal.
Bro, I think he might be done, like for good.
It's the same knee he tore in college.
Bro, did you see it? It was almost like 90 degrees.
I saw it.
I sent it to you on Instagram.
It was bad.
I think he might be
really, really
done,
bad.
like for his career. He might be done. But we don't have to talk too much about the sports. I just thought that was funny because I was thinking about something that my dad had texted me. But I thought that was funny. But kind of, going back to what we had talked about, I just feel that's what motivates me to continue doing this show, especially with you, one of my closest friends.
Yes.
I just think that what we're doing is meant to be.
It is.
And I think that's what a lot of people who are listening to this, myself included, probably you, is we're always trying to figure out what our calling is. What are we meant to do? And trying to find our path and our journey. Some people that might be chasing riches. Some people that might be chasing fame. Some people might be chasing that Greek physique or going into like a certain endeavor, you know what I mean, as far as like teaching or becoming an engineer, whatever it may be. We're all trying to find ourselves, right? Yeah. And I know, I speak for myself and probably you included, I've always felt like I'm called to do more. I'm called to inspire and motivate and be there for people that are around me to really make a difference.
Yeah.
Just kind of feel like that lighthouse, that beam, that beacon of hope.
Yeah.
And totally. I was watching, Patrick Bet-David, PBD.
The man.
He
right? Really is the man. I love him. Yeah.
I guess he had some big, I think 3 or 4 day conference, and on the 3rd day he had Tom Brady out. And so, of course, I'm tuning in and I'm watching that. And Tom Brady is talking a little bit more about, he's going really in depth on his story, struggling to make the football team in high school, going to Michigan, and literally through all 5 years of his years, he's battling, didn't even really get any snaps until his 4th year. And then he's kind of riding the bench while the other quarterback leads them to a national championship. He's not playing much. And then he thinks, I'm going to go into my 5th year. Then I'm battling for time with Drew Henson, yada, yada. And I sent my dad a text message and I said, I think this is really one of the reasons why he resonates with me, right? Is it's not like he was some, 5-star recruit coming out, big dude, expected to be the GOAT, and then just kind of came into it. He was a guy that was never supposed to accomplish anything. And he kept working. He never gave up. He was committed to his craft and just becoming better day in and day out. And through all the adversity he faced, he said, fuck it, I'm going to ball. I'm going to do me.
Right.
And I think that's what really resonates about Tom Brady with me, is he was 6th pick, 199th pick. GOAT.
The GOAT.
Was never supposed to be anything. The GOAT.
No. And he was committed to his craft and also to Robert Kraft, right? Yeah. I mean, right? He was committed to Robert Kraft too.
But, so exactly. But I think that it speaks volumes about who he is as a person. Yeah. And that's why he had so much success throughout the longevity of his career, right? Yeah. And I think we can translate some of those lessons that we learn. We take the nuggets and we pull a little bit from his dedication, his hard work, all that kind of stuff, and we can translate that into whatever we're doing in life.
Yeah. And I think to top that too, if you guys haven't seen the Brady 6, I know you've seen it. It's on YouTube. It's a 45-minute little documentary about Brady and all the 6 quarterbacks taken before him.
Yeah.
awesome. Mm-hmm. It is amazing. So I've watched it numerous times. I actually popped it up the other day. I don't know why. I was just thinking about your man, Tom Brady, and from a competitive standpoint. Yeah. And I was like, damn, I haven't watched the Brady 6 in a while.
100%, bro.
And it's a really good short documentary series, not even a series, just a quick little documentary, but it goes in depth about the struggles he had in growing up and wanted to be drafted by the 49ers because he's from California. They had season tickets. And I don't want to, I mean, you kind of know his story, but it's just really unique to dive deeper into one of the greatest quarterbacks and probably athletes of all time. One of the greatest
athletes. One of the most successful athletes, I'd say, arguably, of all time. One of them.
I mean, that list is short. I mean, it's a very, very short list. So to be able to watch the greatness over 2 decades. Is just
10 Super Bowls, bro.
I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it, bro.
7 championships.
Yeah, it's crazy,
17 or whatever divisional titles. He's literally got almost all the records, dude, for everything. Attempts, completions, yards, touchdowns,
as
wins,
he should.
Starts, everything. And that just goes back to what I said earlier. 199th pick. Was never supposed to be anything. Got drafted to the Patriots behind Drew Bledsoe, who had just signed, at the time, the craziest contract, 10 years for $100 million.
Crazy. That's a lot of money back then, too.
Back then.
Holy shit, that's a lot of money.
I know. And he said, when he was talking with Patrick Bet-David, he said that his mentality always, since he started working with, it was like the sports psychologist at Michigan, right? His mindset was, if I get an opportunity, if I get one opportunity, they're never going to take me off the field again. And then he kind of paused for a second. He said, and they never did.
Never did?
They never did after that.
How could you?
When Bledsoe went down, Tom Brady stepped up and led them. Never looked back after that. Won him 5 more after that year, too.
Crazy.
In his 20 years in Foxborough.
Crazy.
I know,
wow.
Man.
That is nuts.
Exactly.
Wow. I had a thought and I just lost it, man. It was kind of cool, but...
also watched The Man in the Arena, too. Shout out.
I have not seen that
yet. The documentary.
I got to watch that. I heard you've talked about
that's
it.
Great.
It's really good things about that, man.
I know.
But no, I remember what I was going to say. I think to talk about Tom Brady and his greatness, man, and I know you loved him growing up. For some reason, I don't know. I liked him. I hated him. And now I respect him.
Yeah.
And I think this is my whole process on this. People are at the top, they hate you.
Yeah.
Right? When you're at the bottom, they're cheering for you. When you make it, they're like, they hate you.
Yeah.
For whatever reason. And it sucks. But I think Tom used it as fuel. And he kept persevering. He kept pushing through. And I can relate to that in some sense, being at Whitewater. I mean, we were fortunate enough to be a part of some championship runs. Historic runs. 6 national championships in 8 years by Lance Leipold and the Whitewater Warhawks. I mean, that's crazy. And
Dynasty.
People hated us. The whole D3 committee hated us.
Yeah,
they hated us.
Because kept winning.
Kept winning. So I know what it's like, and that's why I think I have a greater appreciation for Tom and Michael and Steph and all these other people that just keep winning championships.
Yeah.
That people hate. They love to hate them.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? It's not fair, but it's the world we live in because they can't get to that point.
I know,
life.
and it's
the hardest part, man.
You saying that is kind of like reflecting back. Like I'm honestly not the biggest LeBron James fan.
Right.
I'm not.
I'm not either.
I'm not a Patrick Mahomes fan.
I'm not either.
But I think that goes back to what you were saying. Is I think a lot of people they get caught up in the emotional side of it while it's going on.
Yeah.
But then it's like now that Tom Brady's retired, it's like damn, everybody's kind of like fuck, like love or hate him, like you got to respect him at least.
Have
like
to respect
the GOAT.
him.
You know what I mean? It's the same thing for LeBron.
Same
all-time NBA scorer. He's got 4 chips. Like the Lakers are looking really scary, still putting up crazy numbers at his age.
2 decades.
Probably going to win another ring next year. I mean, they have a stacked lineup. And it's like, we may hate him now, but I promise you he retires, give it a couple of years, I'm going to look back and be like, fuck. Because we've almost watched, he came into the league in 03?
2 decades, bro.
Yeah. We've literally watched his entire career when he came in.
Isn't that crazy?
I know.
That's nuts.
And what is wild, too, thinking back about the LeBron James thing is it's the complete opposite of the Tom Brady story, right? Like, he came out of high school, was on the cover of ESPN, all these magazines saying, like, you are the chosen one, you are the GOAT. He's kind of lived up to the hype.
He has.
And if not surpassed all the expectations.
That's rare.
That's very rare. Like, look at guys like Zion and all that kind of stuff, right?
What I respect about LeBron, and I talked to my dad about this, is he lived through an era with social media. He never got caught up with any other women. He never got caught up on social media. He never got in trouble. And he's from what I know, he's been loyal and faithful. Great family man to his wife.
And he does a ton of stuff off the court too.
A ton of stuff.
Great guy.
The school, everything. Honestly, he's a great role model. Love him or hate him, he's a phenomenal role model in everything he does outside of basketball.
Yeah.
Outside of basketball, which I think is crazy. So, I think that's just awesome, man. But I think to kind of circle back a little bit to this upcoming weekend, man, I know we talked a little bit. We want to keep this one a little bit lighter, give you guys a little nuggets. Keep it light. But we are, I don't even know what word to use, ecstatic.
Yeah, I'm beyond,
for this weekend.
Beyond stoked, thrilled, excited.
I mean, I want to preface you guys. I mean, we've been keeping it probably 20, 30 minutes. I mean, these next couple episodes are going to be very long. And we're excited, though.
I was going to say that. I think one thing to keep in mind whenever we have guests on the show, because we obviously want to be able to give them the platform and allow them to share whatever it is that they want to share. They're probably going to run kind of long. So go to the bathroom before, take a look at the runtime on there before, go to the bathroom, grab your snacks. Exactly. You got a long drive to work, put it on. But because I don't want a guest to come on here and start spilling stuff and then be like, hey, man, we're hitting 30 minutes. We got to wrap this up. Like, nah, dude, you want to talk for 2 hours, brother? We'll do it.
We could. And I will say, I mean, it's going to be long. It's going to be long. I don't know
about the guests moving forward, but I think Joey D.
I
said his name.
We can bleep it out. We can bleep it out. Right, Tina? You got us, Tina?
We can bleep that out. I think the one on Friday is going to be a deep, long conversation. And I want to say that I know Sundays is going to be long, too.
I know Sundays is going to be long, too.
With the person that's coming on. I'm really excited.
We
can keep this one light.
Yep.
Kind of sprinkle a little bit of that pepper and that seasoning on it. Kind of give them a little bit of that flavor.
Creole, too,
they got that flavor. And I think we're going to leave them high and dry right here.
That's it.
Thank you guys so much for listening. Episode 12. Tune in. Like you guys always know, every single Tuesday, new episodes dropping. Thank you so much for listening, watching, viewing, and subscribing. As always, we love you, and we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.
Peace.
Hey, money with that one. Time to get